Okay. So I got stuff growing in my garden. Okay, this is what I plant. I planted some flowers there. But that and that right there in that pot. Them some greens and some spinach and stuff. Yup. Hold on, what that is? I have no idea what that is. I don't know what that is. Popping up right there. Okay, whatever that is, I have no idea. If anybody know what that is, because I think I planted spinach and greens, mustard greens and collard greens and spinach up in through here. So that's doing a great job. And then over here, we have some greens growing as well. And we got tomatoes over here too. I got a whole bunch of stuff over here because I thought one wasn't going to grow. And in actuality, it is actually growing. Yeah, it's growing all around here. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of stuff all up in here. I had given up, so I don't know what's going to sprout out of here. I put tomatoes in here and then I didn't wait. And then I ended up coming back over here and putting greens maybe 2 weeks later after I didn't see a sprout. Again, I planted all of that, so that was already growing. Now this right here, if I'm not mistaken, I think this may be like cucumber or watermelon. And that right there ain't number weeds. I need to pick all of that out of there, I believe. But yeah, that right there I know for sure is something that the kiddos planted. That right there might be poison ivy, poison oak or something. I don't know. That's another weed I need to pull out of there. And right up in this area is something we planted as well. What it is, I have no idea. I think that's morning glory. Maybe not. But it is something that we planted. This isn't though. This is weeds that I have to pull out right here. Boom. And so is this big patch of grass here. Needs to come out. But that tuff right there is tuff that the kiddos planted. And I don't know what it is, and so is that. And a little ladybug wing broke. And that's something, I don't know if this is cucumber or what. And that's what that is over there as well. And so on and so forth. That one right there still has the seed hanging on to the leaf. That over there. And then these are my greens, mustard greens. And I think that's what all of this is. It don't look like it because this is something here and then that's something there. And it looks two different types. So Daedrian planted over here. So not for sure. So we got, and that right there is my onion. One of them is growing, the other one isn't. So yeah. Sometimes you have to come in and just get some of this. The soil that I bought, this particular soil that I bought, really ain't nothing but dang on mulch. And so I had to go back and get a smaller bag. And I replanted some stuff and I stuck the soil down inside the, And so I am just now seeing growth within the past couple of weeks or so here. And here we got that big old patch. There, got that. I just planted these the other day. So they came up a lot quicker than the stuff that I originally put down here. This soil looks like it's turning into cotton or something. It's really neat there. Yeah. And so, and as you can tell, like I said, there's nothing really growing there. I think cucumbers are supposed to be there, or sweet peppers or something. But got one little sprout there. And then here we have some things sprouting. But, and over here, we're supposed to have some sunflowers. I just did sunflowers because I'm hoping they grow really, really big. And they end up covering all of this right here and just having it really big. But I never showed you guys. But this is what me and the kiddos did We did our garden. Yeah. That was a pole there, and nobody wanted the pole there. And so it's some kind of random pole. I don't know what the heck the pole was for, but it had no electricity or anything running to it. So I just wrapped it with a pool noodle. And just by happenstance, it ended up matching the flower that Serenity picked out at Dollar Tree. And so I don't got no marijuana growing out here, if anybody was wondering that. I already Googled and I found out I needed license and things to be growing a certain amount of marijuana out here. So I'm not growing marijuana. But I do have quite a few things that I may regrow if they turn out right. And let me go show y'all my book I've been keeping my tabs in. So I know it says homestead. That is the ultimate goal, homesteading. And with homestead, you gotta have your own land and all that. But I am just practicing, and so this is my homesteading book. And like I said, homesteading is my end goal or my future goal. But I have scriptures here because I start everything off with God. And the foundation of my soil, it started off with God. And so we have a couple of scriptures here. Have the meaning of homesteading and so on and so forth. And these are all resources that I can go back and look at. Different YouTube channels and magazines and different things that can help you not just with growing things, but it also helps you with livestock. So right now I live in a place where I don't think I can have livestock, but I'm really not interested in gaining any livestock at the moment. But that is a part of my future goal. And so I have learned that chicken poop can go straight onto your garden. Or am I lying? Chicken poop or rabbit poop? I think both. Chicken and rabbit poop. I could be wrong. But I did learn that rabbit poop most definitely can go straight onto your garden because it comes out cold or it cools down quickly or something like that. And chicken poop is great for your garden as well. I just don't know if you can actually put it directly into your soil as compost or whatever. These are places you can go to look for land that could be for sale. In the different places that you look, you want to make sure that that land says residential or something like that. Because some homesteading land, it can be homesteading, but it cannot be residential because of like the soil quality or whatever. So you want to make sure that just because it's a good deal that you're looking into what type of land it is. You want to make sure that if you live anywhere where there are swamps or marshlands, that you are not getting any land that has like big old spaces that you do not desire, parts of the land that you don't want, meaning like marshlands or anything like that. Okay, so this is the garden soil. I did not mix my garden soil up. I bought garden soil because it was something that God told me to do, and then he needed me to do it like immediately. But my landlord has been teaching me about compost, and I had already been studying it, but my landlord told me quite a few great things that I could do as well. And he just made it simple, more simple than the people on the internet with containers and things. My landlord was saying, like, I don't even need a container, just section out a spot in the yard and just begin to compost there. But you guys can do it how you want to. I have found out that I did not write it, but I have found out that there is a good soil, and I think it's called like cow something. It's a yellow bag with a black cow on it, and it's something like that, and it's really good. I found out peat moss is really good as well to mix in with your soil. Yeah. These are just the different animals that are great to have on in a homestead, and the benefits of each animal I have written down in here. Goats, they offer sustainable. Oh, they sustain the land, meaning they eat the grass. They'll help manage the high grass or whatever. This have high quality dairy and meat, and they have you could use their fertilizer. I mean, you can use their fertilizer. You can make cheese and soap and conditioner and everything from goat milk, hair care products and healthcare products. With chickens, they provide the same sustainable source of fresh nutrients, eggs and meat, and so on and so forth. They help control the weeds, and they till the soil. You know how they peck at the soil? Well, they basically are tilling the soil if you allow them to do that in certain areas, section it off or whatever. It said good breeds to have are Rhode Island Reds and White Leghorns. And I did not get the reason why they are good to have. And then the benefits of having chickens: you can sell the eggs, have personal eggs. You can sell chicks for other people to grow into bigger chickens, or just for birthdays, let little kids come through and purchase a little chick. Compost, and and selling the eggs, the fertile eggs, selling the fertile eggs as well, so that someone can actually watch it birth, or so on and so forth. So there are many benefits to having a chicken and goats. Okay. And it says focus on the breeds that can make you money, not just those that produce eggs. So that while you're homesteading, because I have also read that homesteading, you want to use what you have, because you're in the process of building your home. You're in the process of building this new life that most of us probably have never lived before. And so you want to use what you have for what you need. Okay. So say, for instance, you have some old chicken wire fence. Well, that can be a trellis in your garden. You know what I mean? So you could just be using different stuff for different benefits to save money while you're making money off of your animals and eggs and so on and so forth. Ducks, rabbits, pigs, and all of those are good for meat in their own way. Ducks have great eggs. Rabbits have great fertilizer, like I said, and their fertilizer is it's called like golden fertilizer or something, because you can literally put it right into your garden. So it says before you go out getting any animals, you want to make sure that you are able to feed them and medicate them. Make sure that you're able to provide their medical expenses and their feed. And you also want to secure a place of housing for whatever animals you have. The ups on a rabbits. The ups on upkeeping rabbits. They don't produce eggs, but they do produce good meat. And you can have limited space. You can raise rabbits in limited amount of space, only because they don't need that much space, and they produce really quickly. So you will have meat year round type of thing. You know what I mean? You'll have more than enough. You'll have enough to eat and enough to sell if you desire to. And then these are vegetables that I said I was going to grow. A lot of them are based off of like heart health or whatever, because I have heart issues in my family. I've never dealt with any heart issues, but I have had heart issues in my family. And that is something God had brought to my knowledge when he told me about Queen Latifah one morning. And so these are certain vegetables that he told me I kind of sort of needed in my garden. And I want to try to grow corn, tomatoes, green beans, potatoes, onions, bell peppers, celery, carrots, greens. I got marijuana there, but I found out I needed a license, but I still want to try to grow marijuana. Not in this season, but that is a future goal for me, because I have quite a few ideas pertaining to marijuana. This was before they started putting marijuana in everything, but I have a lot of ideas for marijuana. So the herbs that I want to grow: basil, oregano, thyme, parsley, mint, cilantro, rosemary, sage, and chives. And these are only because these are most of the things that I cook with, or that I would desire to use, like mint. I would desire to have my own mint patch or whatever. And strawberries, raspberries, so on and so forth. Yeah. So currently we have the watermelons growing, and currently we have, what else? None of the herbs are growing out there. We have tomatoes supposed to be growing. I want to try potatoes. I'm letting those dry out now. Onions, we have growing. Bell peppers and regular peppers are supposed to be growing out there right now. And greens are growing out right now. So we got quite a few things on here that are out there, and that's my studies for marijuana and the different brands and how the temperatures and things. And these are things that we can make for ourselves. Me and the kids wrote down a list of things that we would like to make once we start growing and getting our stuff together. So I've made homemade ice cream once, and that was at school, and I made homemade butter. So those are things that me and the kids said we would like to try. This is Daedrin's idea. He would like to try to make mayo, but he also was talking about flavored mayo, and that's something no one has ever done before, or that I ever have heard of. So we're going to try to make all of these things. We're going to try to do canning and soaps and shampoos and things like that. We're going to try to learn to mix up our own mixtures, because I go through a lot of pancake batter and cornbread mix and stuff like that. So I want to try to start mixing up some stuff and trying to have that inside of jars and things like that. When I said till the soil, I had mentioned the chickens till the soil. If anyone does not know what tilling the soil is, it's literally just breaking up and loosening the dirt, taking that top soil and flipping it underneath so that the top layer can be soil or whatever. Okay, so there is a little thing at the store kind of like that, and I think it is actually called some sort of like tiller tool, and you can get that and take it and press it down into the soil and then twist it, and it kind of like breaks up the dang on soil or whatever. And again, something else I learned while in this process, soil and dirt. I always thought soil and dirt had to be the same thing. Well, dirt is just dried up clay, just dried, no nutrients, no softness, no nothing. Soil is actually kind of soft and moisturized, like a brownie or something like that. And it's usually a darker version or whatever. And sometimes it has perlite in it. And perlite is the little white thingies that you see inside of soil, and so on and so forth. Before you dig, if you decide to dig or anything, 811 is a global number, I believe, and you can call 811 and they will come out and mark the lines. They'll mark the gas lines, the phone lines, the water lines, and all of that, so that you won't end up making a mistake and bursting anything. I'm going to take you guys back outside, but this is my learnings that I learned from the heart stuff or whatever that God was giving to me, and telling me about Queen Latifah and her mom and their participation in the American Red Cross heart health thing, associated with American Heart Association. Yes. I do, and this is my layout of my plants. I did not write when I planted any of these. I was supposed to write down when I planted and when to expect the seedling and when to harvest. Bear with me. I just started, and I still got my papers, my seed papers right here in a net that I have not done. So I procrastinate just a little bit. But I'm going to, I don't even know if it's worth it now, but I'm going to do that. But it just lets you know that I have tomatoes in this pot and spinach in this pot, which is why I have that long stem coming out of that pot. That makes sense. I got a long stem coming out of that pot, and it didn't look like greens. And that's because I planted tomatoes in there and then went back and planted greens. So I got stuff just mixed up everywhere. So we're going to have like this wildflower garden, and we're going to hope it turns out right. So here I have sunflowers, like I was telling y'all, cantaloupe and cucumbers and watermelon. And then I have some flowers in there as well. Sweet peppers and regular peppers, cucumbers, onions, bell peppers, and flowers. Spinach, collard, and mustard greens are in that second bed. But I'm really proud of my garden. I really am. I'm happy how the bricks turned out. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get them right. I watched a video maybe one time. It was like a short that I watched, but it actually turned out pretty good. In that little section over there, which is actually a big section, it don't look like it, I want to do a fire pit. I want to do like a circle fire pit, and here I wanted these to go like over here. I wanted to go like a big oval, but I got this. This was like the things that I had, or something my landlord actually had and he wasn't using, and so I took this and just put it over the top. And what I did was whatever needed to be vined, I planted underneath there and underneath here. Apparently, I did not know that this was going to be vined because I would have planted it here. So, my plan, like I said, was to take this and make it go over. And make it go over that there. But it didn't. But it turned out right like this. So, from here, I wanted to fix this, but I didn't have enough money to fix that. I knew I wasn't. So I wanted to start here and take a walkway over toward this way. And it's going to come out. And that is where the sitting area is going to be. Kind of sort of got a sitting area here. And I want to minimize the amount of times we have to have our grass cut. So this whole little area, I want like paved off or something. This whole little area here, I want kind of like, not necessarily paved off, but gravel and paved. Maybe some pavement blocks leading up to my sitting section there. And then maybe some pavement blocks coming from here. And then going up to the fire pit there. And then gravel the rest of the way. And leaving all of that. Well, y'all, I'm about to come out here and pick some dang on weeds out of my garden. Because that's the job you got to do when you got a garden. And I hope y'all are happy for me because I'm happy for myself. Look at it. And nothing is too tall, but it is actually growing. And this onion, I just said yesterday, had stopped growing. But actually, it is still growing. This one ain't doing nothing at all. And I think I'm going to flip it back upside down. That one ain't doing much at all. And then we got some cucumbers. I mean, not cucumbers. We have some like bell peppers or something around in this area. Again, nothing's perfect. But it is doing a little something out here. Yes, something popping off. So I'm about to water this garden and pick out some dang on weeds.